Hello again, Puerto Princesa and Philippines. Welcome to Philippine Politics and Governance subject for senior high school students. If you still remember from week 4 episode, here I am again, your one and only Sir Jazz, for this new and exciting episode. Last week, the topic was all about evolution of Philippine politics and governance. And today, a very timely topic to be tackling with. It's all about transition of Philippine politics and governance. So ready your pen and paper, and let's enjoy the lesson.
And for our objectives, at the end of the lesson, we are expected to first, enumerate the transition of the Philippine presidents. Second, explain the works of the great presidents of the nation and improve their sense of nationhood. And third, analyze the Philippine president's contributions to the nation.
But before anything else, let us first test your prior knowledge by answering the following questions.
Directions. Read the questions carefully and choose the letter of the correct answer. Write your answer in your activity notebook. You will be given 10 seconds each item to answer. Question number 1. The Malolos Republic, which has its Congress Constitution, was best remembered during his term. Who was this former president? A. Emilio Jacinto. B. Emilio Aguinaldo. C. Apolinario Mabini. D. Elpidio Quirino. If your answer is letter B, Emilio Aguinaldo, then you are correct. Question number 2. His admiration launched the Build, Build, Build infrastructure program and 24-hour complaint hotline 8888. Who was this president? A. Corazon C. Aquino. B. Manuel L. Quezon. C. Rodrigo R. Duterte. D. Sergio Osmeña. If your answer is letter C, Rodrigo Roa Duterte, then you got it right. Question number 3. As the head of the state, his admiration centerpiece the program Philippines 2000, which aimed to uplift the Philippines as a newly industrialized country by the year 2000. Who was this former president? A. Corazon C. Aquino. B. Benigno C. Aquino III. C. Fidel V. Ramos. D. Gloria M. Arroyo. If your answer is letter C, Fidel V. Ramos, then good job! Question number 4. Who was the president who headed important government mission to the USA and returned to the Philippines on October 20, 1944, together with General Douglas MacArthur? A. Ferdinand E. Marcos. B. Sergio Osmeña. C. Fidel V. Ramos. D. Manuel L. Quezon. If your answer is letter B, Sergio Osmeña, you are correct. Question number 5. Who was the president who reinstated death penalty during his term? A. Fidel V. Ramos. B. Rodrigo R. Duterte. C. Corazon C. Aquino. D. Manuel L. Quezon. Is Fidel V. Ramos letter A your answer? Congratulations! Do you know who these people are? Do they seem familiar? Are they neighbors of yours? Or maybe celebrities? Well, they maybe are, but they are more than that. If the United States of America has a total of 46 presidents who served in serving the country, how about the Philippines? Indeed, 16 presidents. Well done! I know that you already knew who are these presidents, but do you know what were their advocacies and projects for our country? These and more only here with Sir Jazz. Late President Emilio F. Aguinaldo, for example, is noted for setting up the Malolos Republic, which has its own Congress, Constitution, and national and local officialdom. He is best remembered for the proclamation of the Philippine independence on June 12, 1898 in Kawit, Cavite. Yes, we are celebrating 123rd year of independence to date. The second president on the list is, well, do you still remember who was it? Very good! President Manuel L. Quezon. He was chosen to be the head of the Commonwealth government through the Tidings MacDuffie Law from the USA. He served in the Revolution, fighting in Tarlac, Pampanga, and Bataan, and ended up with the rank of Major. He then became the President of the Philippine Senate. He is chiefly known for making Filipino or Tagalog as the Philippines' national language. He directed his main efforts to bring about political stability, build up a national defense against the threat of Japanese militarism, and strengthen an economy that was extremely dependent upon the US. He was also remembered for taking executive and legislative actions to implement his social justice program, the underprivileged. It's trivia time! Do you know that the late President Quezon helped Jewish people during the Great Holocaust, where Jews were instructed to be killed under the command of Nazi leader Adolf Hitler? He opened the Philippines to 10,000 Jewish people, but sadly, only 1,000 Jewish people had arrived because Hitler closed the border. Yes, it is very sad. Third on the list is the late President Jose P. Laurel. He was elected by the National Assembly as President of the Republic on September 25, 1943, and inducted on October 14th on the same year. This unicameral assembly was created through the sponsorship of the Japanese authorities. As an elected senator and later delegate to the Constitutional Convention, he distinguished himself for the advocacy on women's suffrage and his sponsorship of the Bill of Rights of the Constitution. He also became an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. Who do you think was our fourth president? You're absolutely correct. President Sergio Osmeña it is. He was elected Vice President of the Philippines in 1935 and succeeded Quezon to the presidency in exile. He was an editor-in-chief of the Cebu newspaper El Nuevo Dia, founded in 1900s. In 1907, he was elected as the representative of Cebu and later became Speaker of the First Philippine Assembly. On 1922, he was elected as Senator. He headed important government missions to the U.S. and returned to the Philippines on October 20th, 1944, together with General Douglas MacArthur. He also rehabilitated the Philippine National Bank and the Philippines Joint International Monetary Fund.
The election is indeed fast approaching, and choosing our next leader solely depends on us. We Filipinos should know how to vote freely and wisely.
Our next president is known to Ecol as the first president of the Third Republic of the Philippines. Any idea who he was? Right, President Manuel A. Rojas. Very well. Do you know that his political career started when he was appointed as a member of the Capiz Municipal Council? In 1919, he was elected as governor of Capiz, and in 1922, he was elected as a congressman. It was 1935 when he was chosen as a delegate to the Constitutional Convention. He was elected as senator in 1941 and eventually became Senate President. The short-lived Rojas administration embarked on a course that resulted in what considered as his greatest achievements, namely, the ratification of the Bell Trade Act, the inclusion of the Parity Amendment in the Constitution, in the signing of the 1947 Military Bases Agreement. But sadly, Rojas was not able to complete his presidential term. He died from the heart attack at Clark Air Base on April 15, 1948. After the death of the late President Rojas, his Vice President Elpidio Quirino took over the position and won as president on 1949 election against Laurel. He began his political career as representative of Ilocos Sur in 1919. In 1925, he became the senator and was re-elected in 1931. President Quezon appointed him as Secretary of Finance and then Secretary of the Interior in the Commonwealth government. The Quirino administration focused on two objectives. First, to regain the faith and confidence in the government, and second, to restore peace and order, of which he was more successful in the second objective, breaking the back of the Hukbalahap movement in Central Luzon. During his term, the Republic of the Philippines and United States Mutual Defense Treaty was approved on August 30, 1951. Late President Ramon Magsaysay, on the other hand, was known as an able guerrilla leader in World War II and was subsequently named by MacArthur as military governor of Zambales during the liberation. He was elected twice as congressman after the war. He was successfully fought the hooks and became the friend of the common tao. He had the Congress pass the Agricultural Tenancy Act of 1954, providing greater protection to tenants. 8 months left for his term, but death came to Magsaysay when his plane crashed at Mount Pinatubo in the early morning of March 17, 1957, and then Vice President Garcia preceded the position as president. So, I think you'll not get troubled by guessing who was the next president then. Yes, President Carlos P. Garcia. Absolutely! After presiding over Magsaysay's remaining term, he went on to win the 1957 elections. Well, it was said that it was the noisiest and the most expensive in the Philippine history. He was elected as Bohol representative of the National Assembly in 1952, marked his entry in Philippine politics and public service. Garcia's administration was anchored in his austerity program. It was also noted for its Filipino First policy, an attempt to boost economic independence.
As we continue with our topic for this episode, just a friendly reminder that we are here to learn and not to campaign with anyone. We also discourage any argumentation in connection with your political beliefs. Well, it's better for us to leave those things behind for now.
Who's the president we'll be tackling now? Did you count how many presidents have we discussed already? Great! Our ninth president was Diosdado Macapagal. In 1946, he was appointed chief of the legal division of the Department of Foreign Affairs and was eventually sent to the Philippine Embassy in Washington as second secretary. In 1949, he was elected as the congressman of the 1st District of Pampanga and re-elected in 1953. In 1958, he was elected as Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines. Macapagal's administration is best remembered for the resetting the date of the celebration of Philippine Independence Day from July 4, when the United States turned over the reins of government in 1946, to the more correct date of June 12, when the first President Aguinaldo declared independence in 1898. Macapagal established the first land reform law, allowing for the purchase of private farmland to be distributed in inexpensive small lots to the landless. Now, there's a whole lot more. Next on our list, none other than former President Ferdinand E. Marcos, the Philippines' 10th president. He was a consistent scholar, took up law at University of the Philippines, and graduated cum laude in 1939. At the age of 19, he was charged with the murder of a political enemy of his father. Thrown in jail, he reviewed for the nearing bar examinations and topped it. Defeated at the lower court, he argued his case in an appeal before the Supreme Court and won an acquittal. In his maiden campaign in 1949, he said, "Elect me your congressman now and I'll give you an Ilocano president in 20 years. He won that election and was returned thrice to Congress as Ilocos Norte's representative. In 1959, he was elected to the Philippine Senate. In 1965, he became president, completing the presidential term in 1969. He won the re-election. In 1972, he declared martial law and the rest is history. He is noted in building more schools, roads, bridges, hospitals, and other infrastructures than all of former presidents combined. He has the longest term as the president in the Philippines to date. Yep, 21 years in the service. It's trivia time again! Do you know that the municipality of Nara, my hometown here in Palawan, was signed into law as RA number 5642 by President Marcos, creating a municipality of landless people mostly from Luzon. Nara was derived not from the national tree, no. No, it's not from the national tree, which is NARA, but an acronym for National Resettlement Rehabilitation Administration, and that's NARA. Now you have it. Do you know who this is? Well, she is known as the first female president of the Philippines and in Asia. Want to learn more? Come on, everybody! Resisted with the long-term reign of Marcos through EDSA revolt, made our next fighter the first female president of the Philippines, and recorded as the first female president among Asian countries. Corazon C. Aquino became the bet for presidency after her husband Benigno Ninoy Aquino's assassination in 1983 swept aside her role as wife and catapulted her to the top position of the country after the tumultuous events which followed the EDSA revolution in February 1986. She abolished the 1973 Marcos Constitution and ushered in the new Constitution of the Philippines. She refused to run for re-election in 1992 presidential elections, but instead, she endorsed and worked very hard for her chosen candidate, Fidel V. Ramos. She was named Woman of the Year in 1986 by Time magazine. She is on the new 500 peso bill together with her husband, Benigno Aquino Jr. As the term of late President Cory ended, she endorsed Fidel V. Ramos as her standard bearer. Before he was elected as president, he was the military hero of the February 1986 Philippine People Power Revolution and victor of the first multi-party presidential elections in 1992. The Ramos administration has anchored its governance on the philosophy of people empowerment as the engine of operationalized economic growth, social equity, and national solidarity. He also received British knighthood from the United Kingdom by Queen Elizabeth II, or Knight Grand Cross of the Order of St. Michael and St. George. He reinstated the death penalty while he was in the office. Ramos signed peace agreement with the rebel Moro National Liberation Front.
Woo! Four more presidents and we will be having our activities after. I can't really wait to see your score!
Our next president was reputed to be one of the three outstanding senators in 1989. Any idea who he is? Yes, that's right. President Joseph E. Estrada indeed. During his presidency, Moro Islamic Liberation Front headquarters and camps were captured. He joined other leaders and politicians to try to amend the 1987 Constitution. He was also known for his election campaign, Erap para sa Mahirap. Our next president was the second female Philippine president. And guess what? She was the classmate of former US President Bill Clinton. During her study at Georgetown University's Walsh School of Foreign Services, and take note, she was a Dean's List student during her entire schooling there. Isn't it a wow? Well, please welcome President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. She's a daughter of late President Diosdado Macapagal. She was the first female vice president of the Philippines, but the first president to take oath outside Luzon. During her presidency, peso became the best performing currency of the year in Asia in 2007. She implemented the EVAT or Expanded Value Added Tax law under her term. She can be seen in the 2,000 peso bill. The 15th Philippine President is the son of late President Cory Aquino and the late Senator Benigno S. Aquino Jr. and was popular with the tagline, "Tuwid na daan and kayo ang boss ko." Yes, he is the one and only President Benigno Simeon C. Aquino. He created the No Wangwang policy. Noynoy appointed statesman Jesse Robredo, the late husband of our current Vice President Lenny that served as Secretary of Interior and Local Government in 2010, when Robredo served until he died in 2012. He initiated K-12 basic education program in the Philippines, renamed the Office of the Press Secretary to Presidential Communications Operations Office, and they appointed new officers. President Ninoy suspended allowances and bonuses to the government-owned and controlled corporation and government financial institution board members, oversaw 7.1% growth in the Philippine economy in 2012. Additional learning about President Noynoy. Do you know that Filipinos are usually confused as to what middle initial he has? Some say it's an S, and others say it's C. It's because his mother's maiden surname is Cuangco, and that appears on his birth certificate. But when he studied abroad, his second name, Simeon, was used as to the law there. Yes, that's why we usually confused. That means both are correct depending on the place to be used with. Well, at least now you know. And just last 24th of June 2021, a sad news shaken the country as he finally rested due to illness. But the Filipinos remember his good deeds for our country. Almost there, students. But now, let me ask you, how much do you know about our present president? Aside from he became and featured in Time magazine and implemented his signature platform, Build, Build, Build infrastructure program that aims to provide infrastructure development and construction for the Filipinos. Yes, he is the one and only President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. He is the 16th president and the first president from Mindanao. Also became an oldest elected president at the age of 71. He signed the Republic Act 1093-1, or the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act of 2017. He initiated decongesting the Ninoy Aquino International Airport in Manila, the country's main gateway. He signed the Freedom of Information Order. Duterte launched a 24-hour complaint hotline, 8888. He also signed an order for smoking ban in public places. Boracay Islands was rehabilitated during his term, along with other tourist destinations. Duterte signed the Trade Law or Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion and Comprehensive Tax Reform Program. He became one of the Forbes list of world's most powerful people in 2016 and 2018.
More so, what we have discussed today is just a part of our President's top achievements. You are not limited with it, so you may also look for the additional projects and accomplishments in any reliable sources. Yes, reliable sources. Well, I hope all of you paid attention during our discussion because we will assess everything you have learned.
For this activity, write fact if the statement is correct, write bluff if the statement is incorrect, and make the statement correct. Write your answer in your notebook. Fact or bluff number 1. President Diosdado Macapagal established the first land reform law. Fact or bluff? The answer is fact. Very good. Fact or bluff number 2. President Ferdinand Marcos declared EDSA revolution during his term. Fact or bluff? The answer is no, it is a bluff. Did you know what made the statement wrong? Yes, very good. Former President Marcos declared martial law and not EDSA revolution. Fact or bluff number 3. President Manuel Rojas was the first president of the Third Republic. Fact or bluff? What do you think? Well, the answer is, it's a fact. Excellent answer. Fact or bluff number 4. President Corazon C. Aquino was featured as Woman of the Year by Time magazine. Was that a fact or bluff? The answer for this item is, it's a fact. Good answer. Fact or bluff number 5. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte created the No Wangwang or Street Siren policy. Did he? Is it a fact or bluff? That's a bluff, because Wangwang policy was not from President Duterte, but implemented by late President Benigno Simeon C. Aquino III. Good job, students!
Let's check your attention as to how you remember our presidents and their programs, projects, and achievements during their administrations.
For Let's Do More activity, here is the directions. Listed below are the 4 recent among of the presidents of the Philippines. Try to remember at least 2 of their best contributions in our country as a whole. Pass your answers on your subject teachers for evaluation. Number 1, President Joseph Ejercito Estrada. Number 2, President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Number 3, President Benigno Simeon Cuanco Aquino III. And number 4, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Take note that possible answers may differ depending on what you have chosen and not limited to what has been stated here. You can search on the internet or anywhere you like.
What are your thoughts and insights about our topic? You may post your insights on your social media accounts using hashtag PPGTransitionW8. In today's episode, we have discussed some relevant topics on how each president transitioned to another and what valuable achievements they have contributed for our country. From our first president, Emilio F. Aguinaldo, up to President Duterte. If you have noticed, most of their projects are for country's needs, as it is their duty to preserve and serve the people's welfare and to protect it against risks. For our final assessment, here is the directions. Read each item carefully and write the letter of the correct answer on a piece of paper. We'll check your answer before moving on to the next slide.
Question number 1. Who was the president best known for successfully defeating the communist-led Hukbalahap or Huk movement, idol of the masses, champion of democracy, and freedom fighter? A. Corazon C. Aquino. B. Elpidio Quirino. C. Manuel L. Quezon. D. Ramon Magsaysay. The correct answer is letter B, Elpidio Quirino, because during his administration, it is one of his best accomplishments to attain peace and order. Question number 2. EDSA Revolution, marked as a symbol of Filipino nationalism. Former President Corazon C. Aquino took President Ferdinand E. Marcos' presidency even if it was de facto government. What kind of government did she have at that time? A. Conservatism. B. Democratic government. C. Revolutionary government. D. Fascism. The correct answer is letter C, revolutionary government, since President Aquino ousted President Marcos and took the place by revolutionary movement. Question number 3. Before his presidency, he became the president of the Philippine Senate and created the Jones Law. Also during his time, he made Filipino or Tagalog the national language. A. Corazon C. Aquino. B. Benigno C. Aquino III. C. Fidel V. Ramos. D. Manuel L. Quezon. The correct answer is letter D, President Manuel L. Quezon. He is even called the father of the Filipino language and being celebrated every August of the year. Question number 4. She was the first woman president of the country and was associated the EDSA Revolt. Who was this former president? A. Corazon C. Aquino. B. Benigno C. Aquino III. C. Fidel V. Ramos. D. Manuel L. Quezon. The correct answer is letter A, Corazon C. Aquino. She successfully ousted former President Marcos with the use of the unity in that people power revolution. Question number 5. He was the best remembered for reciting the date of the celebration of the Philippine Independence Day. From July 4, when the United States turned over the reins of government in 1946, to the more correct date of June 12, when Aguinaldo declared independence in 1898. Who was this president? A. Diosdado Macapagal. B. Benigno C. Aquino III. C. Fidel V. Ramos. D. Manuel L. Quezon. The correct answer is letter A, Diosdado Macapagal. It is him who moved the date of Independence Day to more accurate date than of before. For your assignment, since election is fast approaching, make an open letter to a soon-to-be elected President of the Philippines. What are your expectations for her or for him? The projects he or she will be implementing, the laws that should be passed, and other related matters. This will be the rubric for your assignment. For the elements, we have grammar, usage, and mechanics. We also have quality of writing. We also have evidence and conclusion. You might want to take a screenshot or photo of this to guide you in making your assignment.
Thank you for watching. I hope to see you in our next episode with the topic, the roles and powers of executive branch. Once again, this is Sir Jazz. Always remember, if you're tired of all the things around you, cheer up and just smile. Be happy because learning is always fun. Bye-bye!